Now I ask you, why is it that we take people who commit these heinous crimes and we do not hold them accountable for their actions? We sit there and we try to give it a reason as a mental health issue or some other type of issues that realistically doesn't take blame. The judicial system here in Mecklenburg County, I can speak firsthand, is trash. And I'll say it again over and over again. And I'll take the repercussions, what comes next after me saying that. But the magistrate system here has no idea what they are doing. This cashless bail system is a joke. I've seen multiple committees such as this one, and words are exchanged, but action never comes to it. So I'm going to ask you guys, all of you, to at some point look at us and look at the future victims, because there will be more. And say, at what point do we hold them accountable for their actions and stop playing this political circus game?
Thank you. Officer Campbell.
Look, good morning. First, I want to say for the record that I'm not here to represent the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. I'm here to represent myself, and so you can get a clear view of what a violent criminal does when he's back on the streets. April 29th of 2024, the Marshal Service was serving a warrant for a convicted felon for possession of a firearm again. While serving that warrant, three members of that task force and one member of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department were gunned down and murdered that day, along with 5 others, including myself, that were injured. Now, that day was chaos. Responding to that call, multiple officers, not only dead but injured, were taking gunfire from an elevated position by a known convicted felon. During the process of extracting the officers, I ended up breaking my foot, which resulted in me being diagnosed with regional complex pain syndrome. It's a miserable diagnosis which led to the amputation of my right foot. I will no longer, ever be where I was prior to that day. Now, in my hand, I will gladly submit this for your records, is his entire arrest report. And in this report starts in 2009, where he burglarized a residence with a stolen firearm. After he was taken to jail, he was released, where he committed multiple other offenses prior to him going to prison. He was released from prison and again continuously committed violent crimes with firearms. Now I ask you, why is it that we take people who commit these heinous crimes and we do not hold them accountable for their actions? We sit there and we try to give it a reason as a mental health issue or some other type of issues that realistically doesn't take blame. Now, the judicial system here in Mecklenburg County, I can speak firsthand, is trash. And I'll say it again over and over again. And I'll take the repercussions, what comes next after me saying that. But the magistrate system here has no idea what they are doing. This cashless bail system is a joke. I believe in my heart that if you commit a crime against another person violently, that you should not have a bond. That you should sit in jail until your time comes. Now, there's a lot more that I could say angrily, but I'm trying to swallow my emotions because I've seen multiple committees such as this one, and words are exchanged, but action never comes to it. So I'm going to ask you guys, all of you, to at some point look at us and look at the future victims, because there will be more. And say, at what point do we hold them accountable for their actions and stop playing this political circus game? And I will yield back the rest of my time. Give it to someone else.
I'm going to thank you very much. I'm going to take a second just to say I really do believe, and I do, I wouldn't be here, that we do want to do something. This makes me sick to my stomach. I'm angry about it, and I haven't lost a loved one, so I can't imagine. The system, the way that it's set up, makes it so damn difficult to straighten things out. That's what each and every one of you are feeling. Because by the time you change magistrates and change Superior Court justices and to change prosecutors and to change attorneys general, and I can go on through the list, it doesn't happen in one day. But I believe by the constant, relentless pounding that we're going to give, and we will support you shoulder to shoulder. I'll stand anywhere, and I know this committee, well, at least most of us will, anywhere, shoulder to shoulder with you, and make sure you get the support you need. So it's not a political show. It's not just to, get on television or whatever the hell it is. It's because I want it to stop. Because I mean this. It could be my kid. It could be my family, my wife, anybody. All of us, everybody who's here knows that intuitively. It could be any of us. So it's not only you. You are not alone. We're sick and tired and disgusted, and we're going to keep pushing on this and keep speaking out. Political correctness is bull. It's time to do the right thing. Absolutely. Thank you. Mr. Woody.
Good morning. Chairman Van Drew, members of the committee, thank you for holding this critical hearing in Charlotte. I'm Michael Woody. I'm North Carolina Chairman of the National Association for Bail Agents. I come before you today not only as an expert on secure bail, but as a lifelong North Carolina resident, a father, a grandfather, a former law enforcement professional who has witnessed firsthand how the no-cash bail policies have devastated our communities and our families. It's a shame that we had to wait until August 22nd, 2025, just 5 short weeks ago, that Iryna Zarutska, the 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who survived the war zone and fled to safety in America, was brutally murdered on the Lynx light rail system in Charlotte. Her killer was DeCarlos Brown. He was a repeat offender with 14 prior arrests and released unsecured bail, cashless bail, on his own recognizance earlier this year at that. Despite concerns about his mental stability and his chronic diagnosis of schizophrenia, he was still released with cashless bail. The Department of Justice filed a federal complaint on September 9th charging Brown with causing death on a mass transportation system. They've elevated his charges to the federal level. Iryna fled the horrors of war only to lose her life to an offender who should have been held accountable through secured bail. This wasn't random violence. It was a preventable tragedy enabled by the reckless policies that prioritize offender convenience over public safety. Here in Mecklenburg County, courts have embraced what they call reform, unsecured bonds, and taxpayer-funded pretrial release programs. While studies show mixed results on appearance rate, the fundamental problem remains. Unsecured release removes the accountability that comes when families and communities have financial stakes in ensuring compliance. Meanwhile, stakeholders report ongoing cycles of missed court appearances and rearrest. When offenders fail to appear in court, the courts must continue their cases in absence and even sentence them in absentia, costing taxpayers enormous resources while denying victims their right to provide impact statements, such as you've heard today. And offenders with serious mental health issues, such as Brown, are released without the evaluation and treatment that could prevent these tragedies. These policies aren't just dangerous, they're expensive. Mecklenburg County alone has spent $345,000 in local taxpayer funds for new pretrial staff. They've wasted over $1.6 million in federal grants and at least $3.3 million in a private foundation money. The county now reports $3.87 million total they spent to put these offenders back on the street with no accountability. That's over $5 million to operate a system parallel to secure bail, which worked effectively and cost taxpayers nothing and provided more security for families. This is the definition of government waste, multiple bureaucracies, and millions in expenses to avoid using the system that required no taxpayer investment. Every missed court date delays justice for victims. Every repeat offense creates new victims who should have been protected. Unlike states with mandatory victim notification, North Carolina can leave victims in the dark unless they go in themselves and sign up for the North Carolina Saving Program, which is a victim notification program. The victim has to do that themselves. That should be done automatic by your local prosecutors or your local courts. Contrast this with secure bail, where family and community co-signers create layers of accountability and communication. When someone has financial skin in the game, they ensure compliance. When release is free, accountability and safety disappear. The evidence is clear. Secure bail enlists families in ensuring court appearances while protecting communities and families, all without any taxpayer cost. Members of the committee, North Carolina's experience proves that compassionate policies that ignore accountability are neither compassionate nor effective. You've heard that from 3 prior witnesses today. Federal funding should strengthen systems that protect victims and ensure court appearances, not subsidize failed experiments to endanger innocent people like Iryna and these lovely ladies here. I urge this committee to stop rewarding failure with federal dollars, support North Carolina's bipartisan Iryna's law that targets these dangerous policies, restores accountability, protects victims, and ensures justice and fairness. Thank you.